Okay, so let's dive into these 5 low-cost franchises that all make $1 million a year. Now, in a few moments, you'll actually get this 17-page PDF to your email. You'll want to check your junk folder just in case that you don't see it, but stick around for a minute because I'm also going to run through and fill in some of the gaps for you pretty quickly. Look, franchising is the most proven business model in history, period. It's not debatable because the data supports it. There's over 4,000 different franchise brands and over 800,000 franchise businesses in every industry that you can imagine. It generates $825 billion of economic output. And according to the United States Census Bureau, 1 out of every 10 businesses that you see is a franchise. Now, the problem is that 80% of franchises are absolute crap, and most people waste hours of their time looking for the right franchise that has a proven track record of both happy and profitable franchisees. So what that means is every year people buy the wrong franchise, the ones that suck, instead of the ones that are the most proven. So that's why I did this research for you and put together this list of 5 franchises that all have a proven track record of franchise owners making $1 million in a year. If I were you, what I would want to know is how in the world did we come up with these 5 franchises? And who the hell are we? And what do we even do? That's a very legitimate question. My name is Tariq Johnson. I am the CEO and founder of Franchise Empire, where we help individuals just like you find, vet, and launch money-making franchises. Now, like me, you've probably already tried to start a business before, right? Some sort of side hustle, online business, MLM, investing in real estate. Whether it didn't just work or you just aren't happy with your current work that you're doing now, for whatever reason, you're now looking into franchising. Now, I wanted to be an entrepreneur for years, but all of my side hustles kept failing, and I wasn't able to replace my income from my corporate job. 9 failed businesses to be exact. So here's the thing. I had a great job too. I got my investment licenses at 19 years old and was making high 6 figures, winning awards, featured in industry magazines. I managed a $60 million book of business of clients' assets. But what I knew without a shadow of a doubt was that I was not going to be happy until I was a successful business owner. That was my calling. Maybe you can relate to that. So after 9 failed businesses, trying to replace my income from my 9 to 5, my first year owning my franchise, I did about $470,000 in sales and about $60,000 in profit. I know, nothing to go bragging about, but it wasn't going to replace my income, but it was the taste of business success and confidence that I needed. Why? Because franchising gave me the proven blueprint and template. There were, at that time in that franchise that I bought, there was 100 franchisees. The model was proven. I just had to follow the system in the playbook, right? So I've now been in franchising for 9 years. I've generated millions of dollars in sales, owning multiple franchises in California and in Florida. And I also made a lot of stupid mistakes along the way that cost me money and blood and sweat and tears. You know that phrase? So if you're looking for the, I did everything right person and have the most successful track record of anyone in franchising, then I'm not your guy. I'm the guy who you can learn from and profit from my mistakes. So over 4 years ago now, I started making YouTube videos helping people avoid the mistakes that I did and share everything I knew about franchising, like this PDF. And fast forward to now, our YouTube channel has gotten over 1.7 million views. We've made over 700 videos educating and helping franchise buyers to either avoid costly mistakes or to own a money-making franchise. And now today, as the CEO and founder of Franchise Empire, our mission is to help individuals just like you own a money-making franchise. And again, we do that by helping you find the right franchise. We'll actually find it for you by helping you vet it and do due diligence to reduce your risk and protect yourself in the buying process. We'll also help you get launched and up and running. Now, we work with clients who have a brokerage service where we go find specific franchises for you that align with your goals and your experience and your budget and your skill sets. But our core philosophy is very different from anyone else in the industry that does what we do. Our core philosophy is that we lead with education. The more educated you are, the more competent you are, and the more competent you are, the more you can make the best buying decision for yourself, so you can experience the success that you're looking for. So because of that, we have a bunch of free trainings similar to this PDF. We have a free video trainings, all sorts of free trainings. We also have paid trainings, and we have online courses and tools. That leads us back into the way that we found these 5 franchises. Now, these are only 5 of the 1,000 that our team has access to. These 5 are interesting because they all make $1 million and cost about $200,000 and under to get open. You may go, well, that doesn't sound like low cost, but in franchise world, that's low cost. I mean, when you look at a lot of the retail franchises, they cost $1 million and more to get open, right? So with this, with an SBA loan, Small Business Administration, you would need to put about 20% down, so about $40,000 out of pocket. Now, people get that typically from like retirement accounts, savings accounts, home equity, all kinds of places. So now, as I walk you through these 5 franchises, you are likely one of 2 people. Either number one is you're serious about buying a franchise, you know that this is something that you want to pursue. It's really just a matter of finding the right one that you feel confident will meet your goals and provide for you and your family. Number 2 is you're still browsing and just really playing around with this idea of franchising. And if you want to do it, or if it even makes sense for you, you really don't know how it all works, if you can even make money with it, etc. So if you're number 1 and you have a net worth of at least $200,000, then we can do a territory check for you for free and see what specific franchises are available in your market or wherever you would want to get the business up and running. Now, whether it's one of these 5 franchise or one of the other 1,000 that we have access to. Now, if it's number 2 and you're still browsing, looking into franchising, trying to figure out if it's something you want to do, you don't want to keep wasting your time searching all over the internet, trying to figure it out and look up franchises and resources, then our Franchise Buyers Academy is a short online course that is going to solve all of that for you. Why? Because I'm going to tell you exactly how much money these franchises make, their startup cost, how long they've been around. We're about to go over that in a second. And then what? You go research them on your own? It's nearly impossible to properly research a franchise from the outside without actually talking to the franchisor and getting the details that they give you. So that's why part of what we do is provide you with the insider information, because you're going to have questions. You're going to wonder if franchising is even for you, or if these franchises are still available in your area. Then how do you get it funded? And should you do a service-based franchise versus a retail location? What are the red flags to look for? What are the green flags to look for? How much profit can you make? How do you get it set up? Then how do you sell the business one day for a lot of money? Like, these are all things that you want to know in advance going into it, right? To see if this is something that you want to pursue. And that's exactly what our Franchise Buyers Academy takes you through. Because look, at the end of the day, you can't sell your job back to your employer when you're done. You can sell a business, especially a franchise. Okay, so let's talk about these 5 franchises real quick, and then you pick the next step below that makes the most sense based on your situation. So let's talk about these 5 low-cost franchises. I'm just going to speed through them real quick because, again, this PDF is in your inbox, and also there's going to be an accompanying video of me breaking it down in detail. It's actually a video that we posted to our YouTube channel that got a good amount of people really were interested in it. Simple disclosure, by the way, that these are numbers that were in the franchisor's most recent franchise disclosure document when we searched it. So it might have been updated since then, right? And this is not a bid for you to buy a franchise. So we just have some disclosures there to protect ourselves. So we're going to talk about Budget Blinds, 5-Star Bath, The Brothers That Just Do Gutters, Superior Fence and Rail, CertaPro Painters, and those are the 5 franchises. But let's just hit the meat and potatoes, right? The numbers, startup cost, etc. All right. So we got number 1 is Budget Blinds, right? So Budget Blinds has an initial investment of between $140,000 to $200,000. Right? Budget Blinds has been around for a long time. They have over 1,200 franchisees. I actually have a buddy that owns about 5 territories, and he does quite well. I know that. But he's also he's a hard worker, sharp guy. So sales performance. So 1 territory owners, meaning owning 1 geographic territory, has an average annual sales of about $900,000. My buddy Adam, he owns 5 territories with a business partner, and then another 2 with his parents, actually. So he owns a total of 7. But 2 territory owners average annual sales of $1.4 million. Here's what's cool about Budget Blinds. Because they've been around for such a long time, they have so many franchisees. Remember I told you about about selling your business for a lot of money, there's actually often, we've helped some clients buy budget blind resales, meaning there's an owner that's retiring or just wants to do something different. And so there's an existing franchise up and running, successful, profitable, and we're able to locate some of those. Some of them we get access to some off-market deals as well. If that's something you're interested in, franchise resales, ones that are already making money, we can talk about that when you book the territory check call. Okay, so number 2, again, you can go through all this in detail in the PDF that we sent you to your inbox. Number 2 is a franchise called 5 Star Bath, right? And so they obviously focus on bathroom renovations, but what they do is they have a turnkey solution, right? Where they only do focus on a couple different things, and they have like these bathroom templates. I don't know if you've ever seen the ads where people do bathroom remodels in like a day or 24 hours or 2 days. It's because they have kind of these templates that they use, which are pretty cool. So it makes it a very simple, efficient business. It's not super complex. The initial investment there is between $113,000 to $253,000 to get up and running. And the franchisees who own 2 territories average $1.4 million, okay, with 2 territories. So similar numbers to budget blinds, actually. I know that we have a client that has bought this franchise, started from new, and I know he's really busy. He's a few weeks out with jobs and installations because they're doing so well. So he's going to have to hire another fulfillment to actually do the build out. And then that's how you scale. That's the cool thing about service franchises. You reinvest in the business and scale as you grow. Whereas like a retail based one, you may have a lot of money that you're putting out up front, but you can do it gradually with service-based franchises, which is pretty cool. All right, the next one is the brothers that just do gutters. So they focus on gutter installation and maintenance. What's cool is that the installation provides a pretty high ticket, like few $1,000 sale up front, and then there's the ongoing maintenance, which is like a recurring revenue model built into the business. Sounds like, hey, a gutter business. It sounds boring and whack. What's crazy is, again, there's some really cool and interesting numbers about this, right? And no matter what, we're going to keep building houses in the US. People are going to need gutters done. Like, it's something that's never going to stop. It's always going to be a need that's there. Ironically, we live in Florida. We bought a house as a new build back in, what year was that? That was 2018. New construction house. What happened was, it was like one of the spec ones where they already had it built, and then we came in and bought it. So we didn't have the opportunity to do any customizations. It didn't have gutters. So we had to, pay a couple grand to have some gutters installed, because obviously it rains a lot here. And so they range from $143,000 to $205,000 to get up and open. And some crazy numbers here. Their average sales $1.2 million with an adjusted profit of $392,000. Now you might go, what's adjusted profit? Well, you're gonna have to take a look at the franchise disclosure document, but typically in my experience, those are not factoring in expenses that, business owners throw in expenses like their health insurance or their different personal expenses. I would imagine that's what it factors without pulling up the franchise disclosure document, seeing the fine print. Hard to say, but it gives you a good baseline, at least in terms of adjusted profit. Then we got Superior Fence and Rail. So guys, this is they're focused on fencing. Right? Again, not a sexy business, but it's proven to work. Startup costs between $130,000 to $200,000. This business was around a long time before they actually started franchising, which is interesting. So got a couple numbers here. The average of their bottom third of their franchisees was 1.1 million in sales for the bottom third performing franchisees. The average of all 30 franchisees was 2.8 million in sales, with only 2 of those owning more than 1 territory, which is pretty wild because, as you saw in some of the other franchises above, a lot of them, like Budget Blinds and 5 Star Bath, they average 1.4 million with owning 2 territories. And so all 30 franchisees average 2.8 million with only 2 of those owning more than 1 territory, which is interesting. I know that since their last disclosure document, they've had a ton of locations sell and territory sell. So they're going to have a lot more data moving forward, but this is definitely one. And a lot of these franchises are ones that their territory sell pretty quickly. So there is like a sense of urgency with doing a territory check because Like as an example, me living in Orlando, once the Orlando market is sold out, that's it. It's sold out. They're like, no one else can buy the Orlando market. You have exclusivity typically with a franchise. The only way to then own Orlando would be if I went and talked to one of those owners and say, hey, can I buy your business, right? So there is a sense of urgency with that to make sure that the territory is actually even available. As I said before, 16 years of a pre-franchise experience. They were running the business for 16 years before they franchised it, which is pretty cool. So again, it's pretty solid track record. Next one is CertaPro. So CertaPro, a couple of things about CertaPro. They've been around for a long time too. They have a lot of franchisees. I don't have the numbers right here, I believe, in this document. We've helped a few of our clients buy some CertaPro resales as well, because again, they've been around for a long time. So you got people that are now, they're just done, they're retiring, whatever it is, they're leaving the system. And so we had a client that recently bought one that's crushing it in terms of performance, profitability. It was a really successful business. They were able to successfully acquire that and then be able to go full time into the business because of the numbers that it was producing. So again, that's something we can help check on in the territory check process. It's also something we go over in the Franchise Buyers Academy. We talk about resales versus starting from new, the pros and cons to those different things, kind of things that you need to look out for. I think it's interesting. I think you would find it interesting as well and helpful really to your situation of figuring out what's the best way to go. The initial investment, if you're starting from scratch, is between $192,000 to $302,000 to get up and open. And then we got some decent amount of data here. So the average year one for franchisees, $541,000 in sales. Average year two, $684,000. The average of all their franchisees was $2.1 million. And there were 167 franchisees they had that were operating for more than 2 years, and their average sales were $2.3 million. Obviously, the longer you've been in business, the longer time compounds on your side, right? The more people know about you, your marketing efforts compound. So, which is pretty cool. So those are the 5 franchises. And so again, this is in your email, go check. Now it's a matter of what's the best next step for you. So again, just to recap, number one, if you have at least a $200,000 net worth, because that is the minimum financial requirement for most of these franchises, as well as that's the bare minimum for a lot of the ones that our team has access to, and you want to see what specific franchises are available in your area, whether one of these 5, or you're just open-minded to whatever aligns with your goals and your skill set and your budget, etc., then what you'll want to do is book the 15-minute territory check call. And again, that's completely free, and that'll just start the conversation and process for us to be able to see what's available in your area. Number 2, if you, again, are just really on the fence about just franchising as a whole, you feel like you just need to learn more first and just kind of understand franchising as a whole, then you'll want to get our Franchise Buyers Academy. You'll click the link below. It'll bring you to a page that'll tell you all about the specifics and details of the Franchise Buyers Academy, what's in it, what's included, all of those good things. At any point, if you have any questions, you can just email us and reply to one of the emails that we send you, or you can just email clientcare@franchiseempire.com. So thanks so much for just taking the time to watch this video. I hope it was valuable to you in terms of, just the information and figuring out what the best next step is in your process. And yeah, let's stay in touch. All right, take care, guys.